go to the website. Okay, so this is how the website looks like at the moment. We're constantly refining it. One big change is that as of last year, now the website is being localized and translated and localized to Latin American Spanish and Brazilian Portuguese. And this is an ongoing project that continues to be updated with the support of the community. And this year, we're going to focus on French and Arabic. So all of the workflows and most of the resources have been translated already. So the primary activity for the platform is to review a preprint. I'm going to use our sandbox.prereview.org, which is, what a sandbox is more than I do. You can all try this out and just publish a review without actually publishing a review. So you'll see the whole process without doing it for real. Anyone can use the sandbox. So I'm going to use the sandbox right now. Actually, but before I do that, I go to the real website and show you, I haven't logged in. Cool. So let me just do that. As I mentioned, login is done through ORCID. So if you have an ORCID identifier, you use it the first time to create your record, and then you'll have access to your profile. And this is something that I don't recommend using if you're showcasing, because when you screen share, like I'm doing right now, you'll see all my data, my information, that some of it that is private. For example, so let's just back up. When you create a PREreview account, you get a profile with your ORCID ID and your real name, or the name that you attach to your ORCID, but you also get a pseudonym. And what that is, so if I go to view pseudonym profile, this is what you all will see. I never publish with my pseudonym, but I am Pink Jaguar. And if I don't share it like I'm doing right now, nobody will ever know who Pink Jaguar is. And that is because we believe that in order to give people really tools to participate in peer review, they should have a way to do that anonymously. But what pseudonym does is that actually not completely anonymous. If you violate the code of conduct, if I violated the code of conduct, our team can dig down and find out who that researcher or person is, and we could enforce our code of conduct, not by revealing who they are, but by, for example, banning them from the website. That has not, I think it happened once so far. And there are a bunch of other features here that I'm not going to go through right now, but they are meant to, we're going to refine them more and more to create more opportunities for people to connect and matchmake who needs review and who has the skills, time, and expertise to review them. One important thing about ORCID is that we're connected with ORCID. And what that means is that if you go in your profile and you connect to your ORCID record, whenever you review something, it will be automatically put under your ORCID record and under peer review. So you'll have a public record of your reviews if you chose your public name when you publish. Okay. I'm going to just now go through the sandbox and show you how you review a preprint. You can also review a data set, but I'm going to do the preprint workflow because it's the most established. So when you're starting, the first question is like, what are you reviewing? And all you need to do is to get a DOI. We are connected with 31 preprint servers right now. You go to About page and they're listed there. If you're getting a DOI from not a preprint server, it will give you an error. But for example, here it tells you what a DOI. You can also use a URL. So I'm going to put this URL here from that. I just went on bioRxiv and selected a neuroscience preprint. And I'm going to click continue. And it shows you what preprint it is. And if that's the right one, you're going to start. If you're not logged in, here's when you have to authenticate through ORCID. And then it'll ask you a few questions. So with the community, we developed an entire workflow with questions that guide your review, asking things like, does the introduction explain the objective of the research? And you have opportunities to use Likert scale. It's mostly 5-point Likert scale. This first one is 3, but also to add options, optional reasoning of why that is. So then you continue and you answer all 11 questions. And at the end, it will put it all together into a review. But the idea is it could be a guided process towards review. You can also use a light template that just, you can edit it in your editor, but we invite you to put a short summary, major issues and minor issues, and then And we have here some help text about what are examples of good review behavior and good reviews. But the most common one is that people have already written the review somewhere, and so then they're just going to paste it. And here is when we upfront ask about AI usage. We want to know if you use AI to generate a review, not to edit the language, but to generate it. And if you do, there's a little change in the license, and I can answer that question if you're curious. The default is a CC BY 4.0 license, but if you did generate with AI, it's a CC 0. So then here you'll paste your review, check the formatting, and move forward. And here's when you pair the review, you can decide if you want to publish with your real name, connected to your ORCID ID, or your pseudonym. And here is an explanation of what a pseudonym is. I'm just going to do my real name. It asks you if you reviewed it alone. We love collaborative reviews. Maybe you reviewed it with someone else, which is really fun. And if you have, we ask a few questions, one of which is that they actually know that you're doing that and adding them. And here you can enter the names of the people. You can copy from a list. Many of our club members, that there's a group of pre-reviewers that review together, have maintained list of reviewers, and they just copy and paste it here. And what that does is that, if I do Daniela Saderi and add my other email, well, this is that it sends me, Daniela Saderi, an email, and I will have to authenticate that actually is, I did review that. So and I can use my pseudonym. So the other reviewer also has options on how to show up in that review. And then, do you have any competing interest? We need to declare them if you do. And I'm almost at the end. You have to also say that you are abiding by the code of conduct. And this is the end. And the check, you can go back to every step if you want to change it. But then if you're happy with it, you can, and let me make sure, yes, I'm on Sandbox. You can publish the pre-review, and that will create a digital object identifier and a CC BY license. We use Zenodo as the backend, and I'm going to show you what that means. So if I go to, for example, this is a review that was published, when was this? 2 days ago. This review has a digital object identifier and a license, and is also, so the DOI is through datasets, and it's on Zenodo. So we have a collection of reviews on Zenodo, and that's where we can keep track of views, and it's basically the backend that we use for publishing. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop it here. I talked a lot, and I shouldn't